So the last thing I just want to touch on is just aesthetics. I touched on this before, just briefly, when I mentioned that the color scheme used throughout the slide deck was based on my company's color scheme. This is important as it creates a uniform flow through the presentation. I mean, I guess these things are perceived subconsciously, but at the end of the day, if you have a beautiful presentation to look at, you as the presenter feel confident about your slides and your presentation as well. And it just creates, it's a great brand building exercise for you as well in the eyes of your client. If everything that you put forward to the client also looks presentable and professional as well. So just the aesthetics or the graphics, from the graphics that you choose to how they're laid out, make sure that everything is evenly spaced in your presentation, that there's no clutter, that you use adequate font sizes. As I mentioned before, your graphics are professional, and it just goes to what you want to convey. Because mainly this presentation is mainly for consultants and bankers. You'll see that the graphics are quite serious, and the color schemes are quite professional. I've got my golds, I've got my copper colors, etc., etc. I don't have any reds, pinks, or greens. But if this was a, say, social media company that needed to be a bit more quirky, or a startup that's designing an app designed for younger people, obviously you wouldn't use this color scheme. You'd use something a little bit more lighter on the eyes and something more punchy that stands out more. So use your judgment, but seeing as though a presentation of this format is mainly for financiers and bankers, I'd use more strong colors, more bold colors, business colors, than your greens and your pinks. And you'll see that in all of my graphics, I've tried to maintain a consistent color scheme. And in order to get your color scheme right, generally the slide master or the slide templates that you use have inbuilt color schemes, and you can just adjust all of your graphics to have a consistent color scheme, which is something that I've done in this presentation. And that just goes for all of my graphics and all of my charts as well, including all of my financial model tables. So I've used these coppers, these grays, and black a lot throughout my presentation, and that just is in line with my company logo and my branding. As well as the fonts that I use for my headings. A very strong font here creates a very business orientated look to the font and to the text. And so it's just these little things that you need to keep an eye on. First of all, decide what your brand represents, and where possible, try and bring that consistent message through about what your brand is and what it represents in all of your presentations. And I think that should be the guiding factor for the aesthetics of any presentation that you put forward.